Good evening. How are you? Well, I'm outside my office where I participated in a panel discussion about where America is and whether or not our republic is at risk and what we're going to do about it. And on the panel were two other really bright people. They were both from Yale. I'm not from Yale. I'm Columbia. I'm a different school. But the bottom line, I would say, is like this. There's blood in the water, MAGA blood in the water. When you have a situation in which the Attorney General for New York finds $251 million in tax and other and bank fraud against our former President Trump, the children who worked his businesses, and his chief financial officer, and she's referred the matter to be prosecuted by the IRS and perhaps federal authorities. And I guess there's some rumble that maybe the Manhattan DA will now do what he failed to do earlier and prosecute, although I still think that Bragg, who's the DA, should be investigating for failure to follow through on what Vance, the former DA, had said was good and sufficient evidence to prosecute Trump. Now, we also have, at the same time, the 11th Circuit pushing back on Judge Loose Cannon, saying that those 100 documents are going to be permitted to be used, and that's going to go forward. The judge in the case, that is the special master Dearie out of Brooklyn, New York, he's asked Trump, will you tell us in the next several days what you claim the FBI did wrong here? And what I see that as is a judge who's seen all the false pleadings that were filed in different federal courts. And at his age and all the cases he's handled and the experiences he's had, he's not going to let that happen in his courtroom when he's brought in on a special assignment that stinks to high heaven. We also have the situation in which the Ginny Thomas is going to speak to the January 6th committee. So I find all of these things encouraging. There are developments that are favorable in the seizure of the documents classified and top secret from Trump's cabana in Florida. We have the Attorney General in New York closing down. We have the 11th Circuit and the local judge acting intelligently in response to what the facts and the law are. Very encouraging. We also have pending the case in Georgia that I think is one of the most powerful ones because of the tape recordings. And then finally, we have the possibility of the grand conspiracy, which is the overthrow of the government, given all the pieces that are put together there. And I refer you to the outline that I think Ari Melber put together on the air, which I thought was excellent. Also, we have the January 6th committee has a hearing next week. So I like these signals for not only what's going on in courtrooms and hearing rooms, but for their impact on the political campaigns and the confidence of Americans. I think that the two judges, well, let's say it, put it this way, the 11th Circuit judges, who are mostly Republican appointees, apparently did the law and the facts justice. The judge who's been appointed as a special master, he's doing the same. So this is very encouraging. I've referred earlier to the speech that Biden gave at Independence Hall in Philadelphia, evoking the original documents by which this nation came into being, which is the Declaration of Independence that spoke about how we're equal before the law, and also by the Constitution that said we the people, reflecting our hold as a democracy on the future of this then young nation. And here we are today, and these two poles that have given this nation its stability, its strength, and the possibility of progress, because we had a map by which we could see where we had been, where we should go in perfecting this government. Now challenged by those who would try to overthrow the government. But as I've been saying, and I say it again now, what we can't stand is to have language without action. So when Biden says, and I know he believes it, when he says they are not going to compromise our democracy, what are we going to do about it? And my answer is to prosecute every one of these cases, to do it soon, and for the January 6th committee to recommend that same thing, and perhaps to put together a joint task force that would organize all the various cases, federal, state, and local, against Trump and his cronies, because America and its democracy cannot stand unless we do something like that. So here I am on the streets after hours. Our discussion went from 7 to 9 p.m. Here we are after hours on the streets near my office. You see the night lights. And so I say goodnight to you from the avenues where I normally work, although I've been traveling remotely to my office, as you well imagine. All the best. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.